Welcome into Pat Mancuso Field at Vikings Stadium on the campus of Princeton City Schools for Friday Night Football on ICRC Sports. Greg Miller along with Chris Asbrock bringing you tonight's game between the 0-3 Middletown Middies and the number 6 ranked 3-1 Princeton Vikings. Now Chris, this doesn't look like too much of a matchup on paper, but if the Middies are going to pull the upset tonight, who are they going to have to lean on?
Well, Greg, you look at everything. Again, this is a tough matchup here for the Middletown Middies, but it's going to have to come through Kamari Fuller, the quarterback. 229 yards so far this season. He's averaging 6.5 per attempt. He doesn't have a touchdown yet, but he does have one interception, though. So he's going to be the key for Middletown's offense to get this going against a stunt Princeton defense.
And then on the other side, Princeton, to get their offense going, they have some big players. Who's the guy we want to watch on their side?
Mekhi Lynn. He's thrown for 789 yards so far, which leads the GMC. He averages 197.3 yards per game, and he's completed over 50% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He is the man who leads this Princeton offense. He actually, in fact, leads the GMC, like I stated earlier, by 341 yards over Andrew Fair of Sycamore.
Wow. Well, if Middletown's going to pull this upset tonight, get their first win over Princeton since 2015, what are they going to have to do?
Well, they have to bend but don't break. In terms of Princeton, it's going to be apply pressure. They've got like I said, they've got a talented defense led by John Harris and Antonio Nunley Jr. They lead the GMC in tackles. They're going to apply pressure on this Middletown offense. Again, it's a bend but don't break mentality here for Middletown. They just have to survive early, but for Princeton, they have to gain the early momentum. They're coming off of a loss last week where they fell to Lakota East 28-19 in a game where they were down at the half, but were able to score in the final 2 quarters. But it's key for them to come out and get the early momentum and continue it rolling.
Yeah, well, we'll see who grabs momentum soon here with kickoff just around the corner. See the officials there on the field. We will be right back for kickoff here on Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV and ICRC Sports.
I'll be right back. Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Hey!
There are amazing things to discover in the forest.
Toothless, time to go! What you picking up on, bud?
It's a whole hidden world of wonders. And the perfect place to spend time with family. What better place to let your imagination soar? Experience nature and create a memory you can share. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
leftovers? Okay.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/firedrill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Hornets in the chair.
Welcome back to Viking Stadium for Friday Night Football as the Princeton Vikings welcome the Middletown Middies to Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium. Greg Miller back with Chris Asbrock for some Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV. The Vikings getting ready to kick it away to the Middies. Vikings in their red helmets, red tops, gray bottoms, along with the Middies in their purple helmets, white tops, and white bottoms.
Kicking off to the Middies.
Getting ready to kick it off for Princeton is number 30, junior kicker Cole Walker. And we are away for some Friday Night Football here on ICRC Sports. Kick is returned, taken to the left side and up to about the 28-yard line.
That was a tough ball to bring in for John Calhoun, J.C. Calhoun there on that, looking right into the sun, and you can see right before here. I mean, it's that's something I wouldn't want to deal with, having to look into that the entire night.
Yeah, unlike a lot of stadiums, normally facing north and south. These end zones going east to west, and especially with the way the sun's sitting tonight, sun right over the end zone.
Oh, Middletown's going to switch it out here. They're going with sophomore quarterback Kellen Davis. He's in the backfield there.
Maybe running a 2-quarterback set.
Yeah.
Sophomore Kellen Davis here. And it looks like a quick timeout by... maybe an official timeout right now, trying to get something figured out.
I don't see much there. It could be an illegal substitution if any flag, because there was a couple people running on the field every now and then, but no, it was timeout Princeton. Nope, just kidding. Timeout Middletown.
Timeout Middletown. Okay. So, quick timeout to start this game. Sometimes you'll see that in, some loud, raucous environments. In today's times, maybe not something that we'll see, but Middletown going to get back out there and try it out again. Here, 1st and 10 from about their own 28-yard line.
And there seemed to be a lot of confusion before it even started. Middletown was trying to get guys on and off the field there, and it didn't seem like it was off to a good start.
Yeah, Middletown having a short prep for this season. Got sports canceled late July. Did not come back till August 28th, about a week before their first game, as there's a little play action pass deep behind the defense. He was looking for number 13, senior wide receiver Elijah Rockhold on that. Just not able to come up with that one, Chris.
Now, Elijah Rockhold is going to be the guy who is going to be the main focus of this passing attack. With junior receiver Will Williams out of the lineup today, Elijah Rockhold's going to be the guy, and he was going for him there, and he had a couple steps on the defender. Unfortunately, was just unable to bring it in. Kellen Davis just airmailed it just a little too much.
Middletown trying to take a quick shot, maybe try to take the momentum and get things going. On second down, it'll be a little jet sweep out to the right, but Princeton is ready for it. It's taken down for about a loss of 7 there. Number 10, Quentin Tisdale on the jet sweep.
Number 10, Tisdale. Tackle made in the backfield by number 25, Kai Williams.
You can see Kai Williams, the defensive end for Princeton. He was able to just get around his guy. I mean, he penetrated the backfield pretty quick, and, there was no chance on that one as Tisdale had no shot.
Chris, 3rd and very long here to start the game. Sophomore quarterback, first start. What do you do here on 3rd down?
Play it safe. You don't want to get, and, well, like I said, play it safe. That's not playing it safe.
Little bit of a throw, maybe a miscommunication, and that's picked off and taken to the house. That's number 23, junior quarterback Dalen White for the pick 6 for the Vikings, and great, about as good of a start as you could have hoped for there if you're on Princeton, Chris.
Well, if you're Middletown, that is not how you drew up this first drive. You start off with a timeout, you go deep on the first play, nothing there. Then you get, you lose yardage on the first, in the first actual play you're able to, to get going on a run. Like I said, you don't want to force it, you don't want to make the mistake. And, of course, right as I say that, he kind of forced that throw in there. And now you're down 6-0 already here, and that's not the way you're wanting to go if you're Middletown. You have to – again, it's the bend but don't break, and right now it's not looking positive here. And we're only we're not even a couple minutes in.
A little bit of confusion there by the kick team. Vikings trying to get some guys in and out for the extra point. That is up and through by sophomore number 49, Logan Kamarick. Princeton taking the early 7-0 lead over Middletown. And Chris, before the game, you said bend but don't break by Middletown. Yeah, this looks like a pretty early break by the offense.
Yeah, that didn't go well. Did not go well there, but you can see Davis. He stared down the receiver entirely too much on that. And unfortunately, anytime you're a quarterback and you're going to stare down your receiver, it seems like the majority of the time it's going to get picked, and that's exactly what happened there. Is Dalen White he was right there. The perfect spot for him. However, the receiver did fall down, which did not help there. But even then, Kellen Davis he stared him down, and it's a gift for the defensive back to just watch the quarterback's eyes. That's what they tell you to do, and that's what he did there. And now you're up 7-0, just over a minute into this game.
As we mentioned, not a whole lot of prep for Middletown this year. Middletown suspended fall sports on July 29th, did not restart football until August 28th, which was the day of the first games in the JMC, so they missed week 1. Only had a week to prep for their week 2 opponent. So far, they've lost every game by more than 20 points, and so far not a great start as they're down 7-0. But trying to get something going there is J.C. Calhoun running to the left side and getting up near the 30-yard line.
He's done a pretty good job on those returns. He's obviously favoring going left on that on the punt or on the kickoff return, and like I say, he's getting some good yardage out of it. So now I'm curious to see what Middletown does, and looks like they're going to go back with Kellen Davis.
Chris, do you think you go a little bit more conservative here on the second drive after a long pass was kind of overthrown and then the pick, or do you think you go out firing again, maybe try to get the quarterback a little bit more confidence?
I think you have to go conservative here. You don't, because this game can get out of hand early. If you try to push it, you could get yourself in some serious trouble like they did in that first drive.
See a little pitch here out to the left, has some room up over the 40 and up near midfield. That's senior number 5, Josh Bryant.
Josh Bryant, top running back for Middletown. He comes into this game 296 yards on just 28 rushes. That's an average of 10.6 going into this game, and he definitely helped himself there. Josh Bryant's going to be he's going to be the guy that Kellen Davis is going to have to lean on in terms of, helping alleviate some of that pressure. It's going to come in the passing game, and now they're going trips wide right there.
In the backfield with Davis. Davis will hand it off again. That one, still a nice gain, but stopped for only about a gain of 4 there is Josh Bryant again.
Yeah, Josh Bryant again. He's gonna carry a lot of the workload tonight. Like I said, he's gonna have to help alleviate the pressure that Kellen Davis is gonna face. Again, sophomore quarterback, first start. You have to help you gotta help your quarterback out, and that's what Josh Bryant's gonna be able to do.
Davis once again handing it off to Bryant on the left side. Finds a little bit of room past the first down marker and slams to about the 35-yard line as he finishes that run. Bryant, one of the more productive members of the Middletown offense. The senior has offers from MAC schools, including Akron, BG, Kent, and Miami of Ohio. So certainly a guy that the Middies trust, and you can see the C on his chest right there. He's one of their big-time players.
And that's what you want to see from one of your leaders there. He's listed at 5'9", 175 pounds. He's a good-sized running back, not tall in stature, but he packs a punch when he runs, and he's able to hit the hole pretty good. And that's what we've seen so far in his 3 runs.
Yeah, 2 runs for over 10 yards here early. Looks like they'll run a little screen pass out to the right. It's bobbled but caught, and that will go for about a loss of 2 there. Looking for number 10, Quentin Tisdale, who had a little bit of trouble hanging on to that one.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous. As you can see here, he's throwing across the field, hash mark to hash mark there. And Tisdale, quick bobble, did a good job of bringing it in. Unfortunately, lost some yards there, and now you're putting yourself now at a second 12, second 13 right now for Middletown.
Yeah, Tisdale looking maybe to run a little bit before he secured the ball there. Davis rolling out to the right, nowhere to go, and just gets slammed by about 3 different Vikings. Looking for a quick rollout pass, nothing there, and just doesn't have time to get rid of the ball. It's number 15, Anas Lunkwin, comes from his linebacking position to get a big hit.
Yeah, there was really no chance of that play even finding much success, as Princeton's defense did a really good job of applying that pressure and getting in on Kellen Davis, who, again, he's 6'3", 215, so he's a good-sized kid. But, even the size there wasn't going to sustain, any effects there of getting out of that. That was, great defensive pressure there by Princeton.
Middletown looking to run the ball pretty well, but after 2 negative pass plays, will back it up and potentially backing it up a little bit more here.
And delay a game. That's a mistake. Young mistake there by your quarterback. You're putting yourself in a bad spot now, and it was 3rd and long before. Now it's even 3rd and longer. So
yeah, 3rd and about 24 here, and as we mentioned, not a whole lot of time for Middletown to prep. No real training camp. That's kind of when you get those mistakes out, and they didn't really have the chance to do that this year.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
Davis back to throw, has some time. Looking down to the left.
Wow.
And that one is caught.
What a catch.
Big number 13, Elijah Rockhold on the left side. That one looked to be a little overthrown, but Rockhold takes it in for a catch there.
There was some contact. There's definitely some hand checking between Rockhold and the defensive back there. Surprised the official kept the flag in his pocket there, but great job by Elijah Rockhold bringing that ball in.
Yeah, maybe looking for Rockhold, kind of looking for the ball. The defender had kind of stopped, and Rockhold kept running, but no call there as number 5, once again, Josh Bryant, takes it inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, here's that pass again. You see he steps right up there, and look, there's a nice little push off. That could have been easily called there. Rockhold does a great job of not giving up on that ball and hauls it in. Again, he's the guy who's got to step up in the absence of Will Williams, and so far, he's done that.
Yeah, junior cornerback Maceo Powell looking for the pass interference. You can see the first look afterwards was him right up to the referee.
Yeah, he had a gripe. He had a gripe, Greg. I can tell you that.
Looks like Princeton will call a timeout here, trying to get some late substitutions onto the field. And Princeton now will use their first timeout, one apiece so far, with just under 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
I was going to say, Greg, so far this game it's pretty sloppy, in terms of the execution of, the substitutions and everything like that. There's just a lot of confusion on both sides, wasting timeouts already and trying to get guys in and out. It's been a struggle, so I don't know, I don't know if it's been a rough week of practice for both sides, but, in terms of this drive here, I got to give Middletown a lot of credit. They're looking, they've had a couple big plays, and they've made them. Here we go. We're going to take a look here at that pass again. And you're going to see Rockhold with a little shove off there. And again, easily could have been called. Defensive back was definitely looking at it. Like I said, Greg, he had a gripe, but great job again by Rockhold to bring that one in.
Yeah, Rockhold, 6'1", you can definitely see how the size helps him out there. You see some fans over here from Middletown, mostly just family here of the players and staff in today's times, trying to keep the crowd as small as possible. But thankfully, we have sports here on ICRC-TV and online at ICRC-TV.com.
He's in.
As Josh Bryant runs in for the touchdown to make it 7-6 Middletown.
Great job there by Middletown. It looks like it was Cameron Jr. was the running back there.
Yeah, that was actually
no. Wow.
Junior running around. Yeah, it looks like he was split out to the left, maybe making some blocks. Their backup running back and linebacker Cameron Jr. over there, but Bryant runs it in for the touchdown. And after a disastrous start, it seems like Middletown has kind of been able to calm things down, get a big play, and have the potential here to tie things up. And that kick is good by number 19, Mason Dearth. That one seemed to look pretty good. Dearth only 1 for 3 on extra points coming into this game, but that one went right through the uprights.
Yeah, that was a good job. And I can't tell you how crucial of a drive that was for Middletown to drive all the way down the field there and answer and get on the board here after a disastrous start. That's a key drive for a defense, because you could see Fairfield, or not, geez, I'm losing it here today. Goodness gracious. Princeton, you see, defensively, they've taken advantage so far of, some of the opportunities there in terms of getting the pressure, but Middletown has withstood that pressure so far. And, we're able to capitalize on a couple of those big plays. Again, huge drive for Middletown to come back and answer and tie this game back up. And now you're looking at bringing on the Princeton offense here.
Yeah, Princeton offense waiting a while to get out for their first time tonight. Middletown has not scored more than 13 points in any of their first 3 games. So quick start for them, getting 7 before the halfway point in the first quarter. Mason Dearth looking to kick it off to number 0, D'Angelo Foster, back deep to receive.
He's going to let that one go.
That one will drop, and we'll get our first look at Mekdi Lynn and this Princeton Viking offense. As you mentioned, Chris, Lynn, the top passer in the league, having over 300 yards more than any other quarterback in the league through the first 4 games.
Yeah, he slings the ball. And another one to watch is Talon Fisher, the running back. Look at the wrong roster. I tell you what, this is, I just need to call a timeout, and I'm falling into the same trap as both clubs here tonight. Holy cow.
Yeah, running back Thomas Boyd has 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards a carry. Offers from a few schools, including Eastern Illinois and Miami of Ohio. Run up the middle here for Princeton. They'll get the ball about 5 yards there. And that was actually not their top running back. That was actually number 1 on the carry.
Ari Turner.
Yeah, Ari Turner, the senior running back.
Senior running back there. He was able to get a couple yards before he was piled on there by the Middletown defensive line. And now you're looking at a 2nd and 5 here. They're just going to continue to feed Turner.
Yeah, Turner only coming in at 5'7", 155, so a little back, but you can definitely see some shiftiness, able to get through the hole, find some gaps, and get the first down for Princeton.
Yeah, you can see, like you said, the shiftiness is there, and once he gets into that, that's, I don't want to say second level, but close to it, he's good. Once he gets past the defensive line, he is shifty, and he's going to be a tough one to bring down.
Lynn now in the pistol with Turner behind him. We'll hand it off to Turner again on the left side. Gets a couple yards there, but a nice tackle there by linebacker Cameron Jr. Jr., one of the top linebackers for Middletown, having 27 tackles on the year, including 14 at First Fairfield.
Yeah, he's the senior leader on that defense, too. Cameron Jr. is the guy. Like you said, 6'1", 200-pound senior. He's definitely one they're going to be leaning on for Middletown if they hope to stop this high-powered Princeton offense.
Yeah, Junior, a legit college prospect from Middletown, having D1 offers from schools such as Army, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. Lynn back in the shotgun. He'll throw for the first time tonight out to the left side, and that'll be caught by number 7, Rodney Harris Jr. And it'll make it third and about 2 here for the Vikings on their first drive.
Yeah, one thing to watch out, that ball was thrown low, but one thing I noticed in the warm-ups was every throw that Mekhi Lynn threw was pretty low.
Lynn on the keeper, fakes it to Turner on the left side, and he'll pick up the first down and a couple more as the Vikings move up near midfield.
That was a great job there by Lynn to pull that ball from the running back's stomach there and take off with it. But like I was getting at, every throw it seemed like in pregame warm-ups was pretty low, so that's something to watch out for tonight.
Lynn looking deep down the left side. That ball just a little bit overthrown. Looking again for Rodney Harris Jr. down the left side, but that ball just a little long and floats out of bounds.
Yeah, Rodney Harris Jr. comes in. He is third in the GMC in receiving yards with 200. 98 behind his teammate Lamont Jackson, and he's one to watch as well. But so far, he's been looking at Rodney Harris Jr. in his couple attempts so far. So it's definitely a partnership to keep an eye on.
And it looks like a little bit of confusion there. Ball gets snapped. Nobody really moving. Lynn running around in the backfield. Runs about 10 yards back, but somehow able to get around the Middletown defense and pick up even a couple of yards. And that was a pretty wild play there, Chris.
I don't think Lynn really knew really what was going on there. I think he was expecting either a timeout or a flag was going to be thrown, and by the time he got the ball and guys were running after him, he figured, might as well go with it as well.
And Lynn, a guy, close to 200 yards running this year, certainly has some speed, able to show it off there to avoid a disastrous play. Still third down and 8. Lynn out to his right, looking, and that pass is right near the sidelines, and they're going to say, yeah, that was held on to by number 14 for the Vikings, Gabe Bamer.
That was a great throw on the run there, and
first down.
Bamer was able to haul that in. I was looking there at the replay there. That was a great pitch and catch, as they would say. That was a great throw on the run by Lynn. That's getting a crucial first down. See number 75, Kenneth Harris, coming on late.
Maybe a little extra heavy set here as Lynn takes it to the left side, shifts out of a tackle, and gets about 6 yards here. Lynn's been running the ball quite a bit in the last couple plays and has been pretty successful here, picking up a nice gain of 6 and making it 2nd and 4.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's going to be a huge part of their offense, whether it's running or, and passing. But with Cameron Jr. on that other side, you kind of want to watch it a little bit. Number 3 prowling around on defense.
Hand off to Ari Turner on the left side. Turner kind of stumbles, but he'll get a couple yards. But a flag is thrown in right about the time of the tackle. Some hands get held up, and we'll take a look at the call down on the field.
Yeah, the customary holding call.
Yep, going to get a hold, and that'll back up the Vikings here.
That'll push the Vikings back.
Yeah, that's a tough play there for Princeton, just after a great run by Turner. Set you back now. Now you're looking at 2nd and 10.
Yeah, had the first down and backed up now. Lynn with a little dump out to Turner. Turner can't quite hold on to it, and that ball bounces off his hands and out of bounds. And we've seen that a couple times early on some screens. Guys maybe not quite looking in the screen into their hands, and ball's kind of bouncing around.
Yeah, you see, he threw that ball pretty quick, and Turner just, he turned his head right at the last second, was able to at least, touch it. Unfortunately, it was, for him, in and out of his hands. But this drive's kind of stalling right now, and it's up to Lynn to keep it going on a big 3rd and 10 here.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 from the 40. Lynn back to throw, looking deep across the middle, and there's no one there.
Wow.
For another touchdown for Princeton, number 0, D'Angelo Foster, streaking up the middle for a touchdown for the Vikings. A 40-yard pass from Lynn to Foster, right on the money.
That was about as pretty as you're going to get in terms of a throw and a catch there. He laid that right in there. And literally right as I was just saying that Lynn's got to be the guy to keep this drive going, he throws a gorgeous pass. Like you were stating, Greg, 40 yards right in there to D'Angelo Foster, and it is now 13-7.
With the extra point coming up here by Gamerk, which goes through, and it's good. And as we mentioned earlier, Chris, Lynn going into this game had over 300 yards passing, more than any other player in the league.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, and
that's shown right here.
Yeah, look at the time that Lynn had to throw, and it was just, anytime you give a quarterback that much time, then you have to expect one of your receivers is going to be, be open. I didn't expect, obviously, to be that wide open that Foster was, but that was an easy play there for Makai Lynn to fire that ball into Foster for that touchdown. And now, you're up 14-7. You get a nice touchdown drive, to answer the Middletown drive. So now here you are up 14-7. If your defense can step up and force Middletown into a couple mistakes like we saw in the first drive, things could go pretty well here for Princeton. So this is a statement drive here for Middletown. They have to come back and, not let this game, get out of hand. So a nice drive like they had before is what the doctor's going to order for them.
Yeah, Walker back to kick. Middletown about to start their 3rd offensive possession, both ending in scores. One on a pick 6 for a touchdown for Princeton. The next one on a 5-yard run by their running back, Josh Bryant. This kick a little bit short. Fielded early, but gets back to about the 30-yard line. So Middletown starting another drive from about the same place, even with the squib.
Yeah, there was a little pop-up there, and Cameron Cooper was the guy ready for it, the senior linebacker on the hands team, when he was able to field it and took a hit pretty quick. But now, you're starting this drive now at the 32. It's going to be interesting to see how Kellen Davis and this offense goes about it now. They've had a couple big plays, and you'd have to think that's probably where they're going to head here. But again, expect a healthy dose of Bryant.
And this one goes to Bryant, who jukes out a few tacklers, gets to the left side, outrunning the defense. He's inside the 20 when he's finally taken down at about the 15-yard line. Tackle made there by the defensive back, number 6, Jamar Matthews. And you saw Bryant there just miss a couple tacklers, and then he was on his horse.
Little misdirection there, and he was, once he got past the, the offensive line, that first level there, he was, there was nobody that was going to get him. He's too strong to arm tackle, and that's what you saw a couple times there from the Princeton defense, and Bryant either ran right by him or ran through him.
That pass out to the left side for about 8 yards to Elijah Rockhold. Rockhold now with his 2nd catch of the night has been the favorite target of Kellen Davis early in this game.
Well, Greg, like I was just saying, it's a statement drive, and so far we've seen 2 plays here, and now you're really putting Princeton on their heels defensively. Now it's 2nd and 1 here at the, can't tell the yard line. It looks like maybe about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, 2nd and 1 from about the 5 or the 6-yard line. Handed off on the right side. Just a couple there, but that'll be enough for the first down for Bryant. And Middletown, after that first drive and those penalties, starting at about that 3rd and 24 from their own 40, Middletown's really started to move the ball with a long pass and some nice running there by Bryant.
Yeah, it's taken a couple drives, but they've kind of found what they're comfortable in running right now, and that's, you kind of look at it as if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's kind of what you're looking at right now. It's pretty much hand the ball off to Josh Bryant and fire it up to Elijah Rockhold.
Hand off to Bryant on the right side. Not a whole lot of room, and he gets tackled for a loss there. Princeton just getting everybody in the backfield, ready for that run by Bryant, and he gets smothered by about 5 Viking defenders.
Yeah, as we did pregame, one of the keys of the game was going to be apply pressure, and that's what we're looking at. They have not been able to do that thus far, giving Bryant a really good opportunity of making some solid runs, and it's just, this is a key drive here for Princeton's defense. They have to get a stop here if they, because Middletown's not going to go away.
The run here by Davis up the middle, running the quarterback draw, and gets the ball down to the 2, maybe about the 1.5-yard line here, as it's 3rd and goal now for Middletown.
You see it was design draw play there by Kellen Davis, and he was able to get a good couple yards there, and now you're looking at 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line.
Cameron Jr. also joining in the backfield, but they'll run another quarterback dive, and Davis will get maybe a half yard or a yard there down to the 1-yard line, but still a good full yard short on 4th down.
Great job there by the Princeton defense of not letting any positive yardage there. That's what you want to see if you're the Princeton defensive staff. That's a great job. And now they're going to go for it here. It's 4th and goal, 2-yard line. It's a huge play early on in this game with just 47 seconds left in the quarter.
Yeah, Davis in the backfield. Brown flanked to his right. Little bit of motion, and they'll hand it off to Bryant, who fights through for the touchdown. Touchdown Middies. Josh Bryant with his 2nd touchdown of the night, and Middletown getting their 2nd touchdown on the board. The Middies have not scored more than 13 points in their first 3 games, but already have 13 tonight, still in the first quarter, Chris.
Well, it's one of those situations where you're going to rely on your guys to get the job done, your main guys, and that's what they've done so far. Great. That is a great drive. Again, a great statement drive as they now tied the game back up. Oh, no, he missed it. He looks like he hooked it.
He did hook it, and as we mentioned earlier, Dearth coming into this game 1 of 3 on extra points, and now after missing a make, he'll go to 2 and 5, and Princeton will keep a slight lead, 14-13. Chris, with this game so far, the first start for quarterback Kellen Davis, how would you rate his performance through the first quarter or so of this game?
If you take away the interception, he's looked fantastic, in my opinion. You take away, like I said, the one big mistake there that did cost them 7 points. But overall, he's done a good job. He's relying, like I said, on Josh Bryant, who's, as a quarterback, as a young quarterback, you're going to look at your running game to help you, establish some poise and everything in the pocket. And that's what he's been able to do, because he knows he can always rely on Josh Bryant in the backfield there. But on his throws, he's done a great job. And again, it's that bend, like I said, bend but don't break, and they've done a pretty good job of bending so far. Outside of, again, that one mistake, which, young quarterback, that's going to happen.
Yeah, a couple early mistakes leading to 14 Princeton points, pick 6 and a blown coverage, but they've been able to drive down and answer both those scores with scores of their own, down just 1 point with about 30 seconds left as Mekti Lin and the Princeton Viking offense come out for their 2nd drive of the game. Lin with a 40-yard bomb to number 0, D'Angelo Foster, to give the Vikings a 14-7 lead earlier. Chris, do you think they'll go out firing again, or do you think they'll go back to the run game that they kind of started to establish early in their first drive?
I think you're going to see exactly what we saw last drive. I mean, they were able to mix in the pass and the run really well. And I think you're going to see that too, because Turner, Ari Turner, the senior running back, he was the one that that Lynn relied on when he was not, when he wasn't rushing, but now you got Foster in the backfield. Now he's going to look to pitch it back.
Yeah, and that'll be pitched to number 0, D'Angelo Foster, on a little option play there, but enough for a first down for Princeton, and they'll start moving the sticks. One interesting thing to look at, as we mentioned early in the game, their top rusher coming into this game, Thomas Boyd, has not entered the game so far, possibly an injury, but looks like they'll be leaning on number 1, Ari Turner, to kind of shoulder the load here for the Vikings tonight as he gets the ball and gets taken down quickly in the backfield. That's big number 78, Javen Davis, the senior 5'11", 260 defensive lineman for the Middies.
He's every bit 260, and he did a phenomenal job of wrapping him up. He was not going to let him go anywhere as this first quarter is going to end, but impressive performance so far from Middletown. I'd have to think, that they've, they're in a spot where I would have to say that where they want to be, considering the circumstances of the previous weeks.
Yeah,
Good job there.
Well, we'll be back here in just a second. So far, we've got a high-scoring good one at the end of one here on Friday Night Football on ICRC Sports. Princeton 14, Middletown 13. We'll be back in just a second for the second quarter.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Welcome back to Viking Stadium for tonight's edition of Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV. We've got a good one so far between the Middies and the Vikings. Princeton leading Middletown 14-3 at the end of one. The Vikings will get us started with a 2nd and 10 from about their own 30. So far, Princeton, 1 offensive possession, 1 touchdown, a 40-yard bomb from Mehdi Lynn to number 0, D'Angelo Foster. And Lynn going deep again over the middle. That one a little bit low and not able to connect.
Yeah, like I was saying in the first quarter there, Greg, it seemed like every throw was very low, and every one of the warm-up throws that Lynn was making. And that's a throw right there. If he gets D'Angelo Foster, if he gets him on the run, Foster's gone. I mean, and that's when you're going to take a look back and, you're really going to be frustrated because that was an opportunity that was missed.
Yeah, it seems like so far a lot of his bullet throws have been the ones that are low. His couple touch passes, one was over the head and one was right on the money, but it seems like every time he kind of tries to bullet one over the middle, it's low or bouncing into the receiver, as it looks like conversation on the sideline right now. Maybe a little bit of clarification, maybe asking about the clock. Not quite sure here.
There seems to be some confusion there from the officials. Looks like it might be some communication problem, but at the rate this, the way everything's gone so far for us and them on there, who knows?
Yeah.
We're on the same boat.
A lot of mistakes here early. Pick sixes, a couple blown coverage, some big runs, but we're back at it here 6 seconds into the second quarter, as it's now 3rd down and 10 for the Vikings, trying to avoid the first punt of the game. Lynn play action pass under some pressure. Low throw there to Turner.
Oh.
But some room. down the down the left side and inside the 40. That was actually to number 17 for the Vikings, Vince McQueen III, the sophomore tight end there, able to catch the little kind of dump screen pass and get some room for a big first down there for the Vikings.
That's a play you don't see often, a little tight end, dump screen there, and, they ran it to perfection. And
Lynn,
we got a flag coming in late here.
Yeah, Lynn running the little quarterback keeper to the left, getting some yards, but
it's right in the area of usually you're going to see a hold in that spot, which is why Lynn was able to get around the outside there.
Yeah, and you can actually see 2 flags there. A couple of the referees seeing the hold there, and that's not what you want to do after a big play, big backup.
Oh, yeah, there was you could definitely see a couple of them there where I couldn't see who that offensive lineman was on the far side, but he was, he had a pretty good hold on the Middletown defender.
Yeah, it looked like the linebacker, number 6, Lamont Chambers, was about getting tackled on the outside over there. So they'll call that every time. And now it's 1st and 20 back at the 45 for the Vikings. Another quarterback keeper for Lynn, and he'll get most of that penalty yardage back, getting about 7 there to set up 2nd and 13.
It's going to be a long game for Middletown if they are unable to, I don't want to say stop Lynn in these runs, but you got to limit the amount of yardage he's getting, because there, you had a 2nd and 20 and he got 8 on it. So now you're 2nd and long. It actually looks like they marked it down another yard, so it's 2nd and 13 now, but
Lynn looking right, has a receiver wide open, but just over the head, looking again for D'Angelo Foster. And going back to your earlier point about, making tackles early, 2 of the top 2 tacklers for the Middies, both linebackers. So you can see early in this year, a lot of plays being made in the 2nd level, not a whole lot of runs being gobbled up by the defensive line.
Yeah, that's not a good recipe for success if you're a defense. If your linebackers are the ones that are making a lot of the tackles, that means your defensive line's not getting the job done up front and they're just getting beat, and that's not what you want to see, and that's kind of what's happening so far from Lynn, is he's able to get, on some of these runs, able to get past the D-line.
Lynn looking deep to the right. That pass is
He's out.
Caught, but it looks like,
wow, they gave it to him.
Wow, they're going to give him a touchdown. Looked like the right foot might have come down out of bounds.
Wow.
But they're going to give Princeton the touchdown on another deep pass by Lynn, this time to Gabe Beimer. You can see this deep pass, another about 40-yard bomb by Lynn.
Oh, yeah, he was out. That foot was in, but it was also out. And that's a tough break there from Middletown. Football gods were looking down on Princeton right there. That was a great play by Lynn, a great throw, and a great catch by Beamer. And he missed that one. So now we are even in terms of the mistakes on special teams.
Yeah, 2 missed extra points. So what could be a 21-14 game, just 20-13, but you see some pats on the back trying to get things fixed. And now Middletown, once again, has to respond to a Princeton touchdown, once again trailing by 7, 20-13.
If you're Middletown, that's a tough way to end that drive. You did a pretty good job on a couple of the plays, of keeping it, keeping Princeton's offense at bay. And unfortunately, you give up, that touchdown pass there, and that's twice they've been victimized on a 40-yard touchdown pass by Lynn. But again, you got to give all the credit in the world to Beamer for bringing that ball in. I mean, that was just a great catch. But as we saw in the replay, he didn't get a foot in. I mean, but still, referees give it to you. You put yourself in that position, and they took advantage of it. Now, you're back up to a 7-point lead here, and let's see what Middletown, who's been able to capitalize offensively, see what they've got in their back pocket here, and see if they're able to get this thing tied up again.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Middletown's previous high in points this season was 13. Already have 13 in the first quarter. Also on there, Josh Bryant, the star running back, also passed his average for the year, averaging just under 99 yards a game rushing. Already has 100 through the first quarter, so we'll see what happens there. As the putt looks to be muffed a little bit, but still brought up over the 25. That by number 26 for the Middies, Tariq Richardson.
Yeah, here's a replay of that touchdown there. As you can see, Bamberg comes up, gets that foot down, but look where the toe is out of bounds. At least that's what the view I'm getting.
Yeah, you can definitely see some of the pellets come up off the white sideline. Very close play, tough for the refs to call when you don't have the luxury of replay that you might have at some of the higher levels. But well, we can see the replay here.
It's a clutch move on him to have the white front on the fronts of his cleats, so it makes it easy to blend in.
Handoff there to Bryant, only getting about a couple yards there for Princeton and bringing up second down at about 9. Bryant so far has been the focal point, but also another big part of this offense. Sophomore Kellen Davis making his first start for Middletown here in the shotgun. He's going to look to his left, throw it out, but Middletown all ready for that, beating some blocks and just nowhere for number 10, Quentin Tisdale, to go.
Yeah, that was a great job of shedding the block there. Darius Conley was the other receiver out, spread out wide there, was throwing the block, and number 21, Justin Wimpai, the junior corner, did a great job of shedding that block there and bringing down Tisdale for the loss. And it looks like the officials are... I was going to say there were some extracurricular activities going on, and that's what Princeton was flagged on, and now you're going to add 15 more, and you're going to get an automatic first down. So,
yeah, not what you want to see if you're a coach there. A little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards. Some hands by some Princeton defenders going up, like, what did I do? But, even if you get shoved first, usually the ref sees the guy that shoves back, so got to keep some composure there, and it costs the team 15 yards. Davis back to throw, but decides to tuck and run it. Able to get a couple yards there, but not a whole lot of running room as the Princeton defensive line able to settle back and make the tackle after just a gain of 2.
Yeah, this is a drive now that Middletown was given a gift with the personal foul call. They were given 15 extra yards and a first down. Now they have to continue to take advantage of it. After the 2-yard run here, you set up 2nd and 8. It's going to be interesting to see what Kellen Davis and this offense can do. As you see trips out right, and Josh Bryant's come back in to be next to the quarterback.
Handoff up the middle. Bryant able to get a couple yards, make it 3rd and more manageable, but still 3rd and about 4 here for the Middies as they approach midfield here. Down 7. Just about 8.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Josh Bryant had 8 rushes for 100 yards in the first quarter. And we haven't seen as much there from him, so far in this, in the Middletown first drive here, this 2nd quarter. But, again, Bryant's going to be the guy they're going to rely on heavily here. So it's up to him on this 3rd down here. He's going to have to, if they're going to give him the ball, got to step up and make a play.
Davis looking to his left, looking for Bryant, but just under too much pressure, and I think he was just trying to get that one away, way over Bryant's head. Try to live another day, not make any more mistakes, and now it'll be 4th down for the Middies, and it looks like they're going to bring out their punt team.
Great job there by the Princeton defense to turn up and dial up the pressure there. As Kellen Davis had no shot. Once he looked around and saw those 2 ends coming from that right side, and he was, smart move by him and not forcing anything, but he was able to, get it out to Bryant, who was, the receiver in the area. But wise of him not to take a sack either there. That could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Oh,
boy.
And the punt is over J.C. Calhoun's head. He's just going to try to run to the right side.
He might get it.
Gets
And he
him
got it.
daylight,
Wow.
and he gets enough yards for the first down, and that really helps when your punter is also your kick returner. Lots of speed by wide receiver and punter J.C. Calhoun. Not sure if that was a fake there, but punt goes over his head, and he makes a big play there, Chris.
That's that's usually in the last page of your playbook. There is the, snap over the punter's head and then take off and run for, 30 yards and get the first down on 4th down. So it worked out to perfection there, but sometimes you got to take advantage of a mistake, and, Middletown, you got to give them credit there. They did, and, great job there by J.C. Calhoun to make the most of that play and get the first down. Like you were saying, it helps out when your punter is also one of your kick returners. So there seems to be more confusion.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a equipment malfunction, something maybe falling off, maybe a mouth guard or part of the helmet falling off one of the wide receivers' helmets, and looks like they've gone on a little search, found it, and we'll make a quick substitution to try to keep the drive going by the Princeton defense.
We've seen it all so far.
Hand off to Bryant. Once again, not a whole lot of room. This Princeton defense starting to get a little bit more stout. Middletown so far on this drive, not moving the ball extremely well, but helped out by a personal foul penalty on the Princeton defense, as well as a converted 4th down on a fake punt. So with a couple of breaks going Middletown's way early, we'll see if they can take advantage now in Princeton territory. Davis going to pitch it to Bryant, but absolutely nowhere to go. About 3 Princeton defenders were in the backfield before Davis or Bryant could even think of where to go. Just very quick pass rush. That one led by number 9 for the Vikings. That's Leroy Bowers. Bowers is safety, big-time prospect for the Vikings. He's a University of Cincinnati commit.
Well, here's the thing, too, Greg, is, it's a pride thing now for this Princeton defense. He gave up 100 yards rushing to, one player in the first quarter. You're not going to let that happen again. And that's one thing they've obviously, they're dead set on right now is not letting that happen again.
Davis in the pocket, looking deep down the right side.
Oh, wow. Almost a beautiful catch there by Tisdale. He was unable to haul it in one-handed.
Yeah, Davis just looked like he kind of threw that one up for grabs. Tisdale almost able to make the catch there.
See, it was a fly route there, a little wheel route there. And Davis chucked it up there. He saw Tisdale. He had a spot on, on the defensive back. Unfortunately, he was just unable to haul it in, and now you force yourself into a 4th and 15 now.
Yeah, now a little bit better of a snap, and this one actually punted to Princeton, and it looks like it will be picked up in return.
Oh.
Was that
now
pitch?
He's got a whole host of blockers in front of him.
A little bit to the outside, and that is going to be taken.
He's housing it.
All the way to the end zone. That one by number 9.
Leroy Bowers.
Leroy Bowers, the senior safety who came up with a big play early, able to take that punt all the way to the house. Princeton so far with the trifecta. The defensive touchdown, the offensive touchdown, and now the special teams touchdown as they go up 26-13 over Middletown with the extra point coming.
And that play was simply successful because of Bowers' his ability to, basically reverse the field there. He was unable to get tackled on that far side, and he switched it. And once you switch the field there, the majority of the time you're going to have a host of blockers. And he did.
And this extra point up and good. A couple extra points missed early, but that one good.
As you're going to see here on this replay, look, Bowers, there's 2 defenders there that were unable to bring him in, and it's just a simple, find your blockers and use your speed around that edge. That is a textbook return for a touchdown.
And you can see there, after breaking a couple tackles, actually runs into number 23, Dalen White. And I thought there was actually a pitch there. I didn't realize they just kind of ran into each other, but he was able to kind of create a wall between the defenders, allow Bauer to kind of bounce to the right side. And once he gets some space, Bowers definitely has enough speed to take it to the house.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that, like I said, was run to absolute perfection there on that punt return. Like, once you, like I said, it's, you know, any returner, if you're able to switch the field, the majority of the play is going to be on that other end where you just were. And then it's up to the, you know, the kicking team to, basically, you've got to shift back. And by that time, all your blockers are in position, and you can just follow them. And that's what they, and that's what Bowers did. And Princeton now took advantage of it. Now it's 6:17 to go here in this second quarter. You know, this is a massive drive now for Middletown, because if they don't get anything here, you know, you're down 14. Princeton could get the ball back and score again before the end of the half, and then they get the ball back at the, you know, to start the second half.
If you're Middletown here, Chris, how do you want to approach this second drive? You've seen Bryant kind of bottled up as J.C. Calhoun finds some room around the left side. Could we have 2 straight special teams touchdowns? Calhoun trying his best and not quite to the end zone, but gets to about the 10-yard line, and we've really seen it all today, Chris. Big punt returns, big kick returns, defensive touchdowns, big runs, big passes. This game's had a whole lot, and we've seen it with 40 points and the potential for 6 more to come on the board pretty soon after a huge return by Calhoun.
This was an incredible return. Did a great job of shedding a couple blockers there, a nice spin move. And then once he's in that, you know, in that level there, he's just going to use his speed, and he just flat out outran Justin Wimpy there, the junior corner. And then it's up to you just to make the plays and, you know, getting it done. That's what he did there.
Davis now in the backfield, giving it to Bryant, but once again, that Princeton defensive line, as you mentioned earlier, they're big, they're quick, and so far getting a lot of pressure. And you can see the flex there by number 5, senior linebacker John Harris, one of many Vikings to get right into the back of the backfield and give no time to Bryant.
It's a pride thing. They're not going to let Bryant beat them again like he did in that first quarter. So now it's just something you have to watch now. Middletown's they've got to find a way to spread this ball around and get some get some time for Davis.
Davis looking to the left, but that pass just a little bit low. That one's not going to be caught. I believe looking for number 10, Quentin Tisdale. Now, Chris, you've kind of seen this Princeton defense wake up. Do you think it was just getting caught off guard, or do you think it was kind of maybe a sleepwalking scenario for Princeton? Obviously playing a Middletown team, 0-3, not a whole lot of expectations, have lost a lot of their games pretty badly. Offense hasn't looked great before this week. Do you think Princeton just wasn't quite ready to go?
Honestly, I think you're right on that. I think, that's definitely something to take into consideration. And honestly, it's kind of human nature when you're playing a team.
As Davis looking to the left side, but just nothing there. And after some great field position to start, Middletown's going to find themselves in a precarious situation. 4th down and about 11 from their 12. Can get a first down, but not a whole lot of room there.
You see, again, the pressure, and Kellen Davis had no chance there. He tried to force it into somewhat of, triple coverage, at least double coverage there. But, now if you're Middletown, that's a disappointing into a drive to where, worst case scenario, it ends in no points. Hopefully you can get it, within, 11 here.
And a real question here for Dearth, as we mentioned, only 2 for 5 on extra points coming in. No field goal attempts so far. That kick is up and good. So far, 1 for 1 on field goals. So that's our first field goal of the game. And Middletown, big return, not able to get the 6 they were looking for, but at least able to come away with something and bite into that Princeton lead by a little bit. You look at this kick by Dearth.
I did a good job. Not having a field goal attempt on the air, he knocked that one through.
Yeah, definitely had enough distance. Curled in a little bit, but, had plenty of room to spare to the right or the left, enough distance, and that's 3 points for Middletown. And now, if you're the Middies, after what we've seen on special teams the last couple kicks, you're going to be a little bit weary here to kick it back to Princeton, just having a special teams touchdown and getting a big special teams player of your own.
Yeah, this is a big chance here for Princeton. And like I said, special teams has been the name of the game so far. But to kind of touch back on your previous point, Greg, was the fact that, like you were saying, that Princeton looked like they might have been sleepwalking. Again, like I said, it's human nature to, when you're playing a team, it's hard to get, I don't want to say motivated, when you're playing a team that is struggling coming into a game where it's not a real rivalry game either. And sometimes it takes getting punched in the mouth, like Josh Bryant and that offense did early on, to wake you up. And Princeton's, they've woken up so far, and that last drive was definitely evidence of that.
Yeah, nothing for Middletown on that last drive, going back a yard and just able to kick the field goal there. And some great kick coverage by Middletown, not able to take them down behind the 10-yard line, or behind the 20-yard line, but just over the 20-yard line for Turner, getting to about the 23-yard line, as Princeton will start another drive for them. Of course, their last offensive drive ending in the touchdown pass that the wide receiver may have had a foot out of bounds, but so far, some nice passing by Mekdi Lynn. 2 40-plus yard touchdown passes, so he's been running the ball well, he's been throwing the ball well, and as you can see with the 27 points in still just the first half, this Princeton offense is rolling.
Yeah, that play right there is, just more evidence that Princeton's looking to, they're gonna wind down this clock here. They get the ball to start the second half too, so that's something to watch. You get a touchdown here, you're up by 18 going into the half, and you have to feel pretty good, after withstanding some serious pressure from Middletown early on. This drive here by Lynn and company is going to be crucial for Princeton to keep this momentum rolling.
Yeah, and though the Princeton defense has been up and down, this Princeton offense has pretty much been rolling from the word go, scoring on all 3 of their offensive possessions, and so far starting the drive pretty well with a first down here for Princeton, getting the ball to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, this is going to be a drive I think where you're going to see, I don't want to say being really conservative, but they're going to wind down the clock, and you're going to see, they're just going to, I think they're going to pound the ball here and continue to wear down this Middletown defense.
Yeah, just about 4.5 minutes to go. Run to the outside for Princeton, and that's a broken tackle and about 9 yards there for Ari Turner. Another big run for Princeton. Princeton getting 6 or 7 yards, in this case 9 on every carry right now.
Yeah, if you're the Princeton offense, this is exactly what you're wanting. I mean, you're just, you're letting your offensive stars do the, they're getting the job done. They're doing the work there and, making it look easy right now.
And it seems like with another 6-yard run by Turner and another first down, you kind of see this Princeton offense, as you mentioned, kind of bleed the clock, but still be able to move the ball with decent pace, getting 6 or 7 yards on every run.
Yeah, because there's a host of players that you can really, that you can give the ball to, because now Ty Tanks checks in, and he's definitely the opposite of Ari Turner.
Lynn hands it off, but actually his quarterback keeper, he'll run it to the outside, pick up another couple yards, and scamper out of bounds up into Middletown territory.
As you can see, Lynn there pulls that right from the midsection of Tanks and carried it around the outside as Kyron Mack, the senior linebacker, had applied pressure and got in, and he was after Lynn was around him. Mack was still holding on to his foot there, which is pretty funny. But
Turner to the outside and definitely runs with a little bit more force than Turner, running over a guy and picking up a first down. You can see the head shake. He knows he just ran over someone. Ty Tanks, big run there.
Well, you're going to see looks like there's going to be some offsetting penalties here on the sidelines for a little bit of a personal foul there. As you can see the back end of that. There's some shoving as we saw, but, we're going to see.
Yeah, and that looks to be the case. You can see some of the offensive line trying to plead their case, but looks like there's definitely going to be a personal foul on Princeton, maybe some offsetting ones. No, just going to call it on Princeton.
A personal foul against the Vikings.
Now, one thing to watch here, Greg, is the fact that you go from Ari Turner, who's a 5'7", 155-pound running back, to Ty Tanks, who runs like his name. He's 6'1", 235. So that's quite the size difference there, and he runs with speed as well, as you just saw there, and he lowers his shoulder, and he's going to run right over you. So Princeton has that option to go to two different backs, along with Lynn, from the quarterback position, who can run and throw.
Yeah, now Princeton backed up. 2nd and 12. Lynn under some pressure.
He's got him.
But finds a receiver down the left side for a touchdown. That one to number 7, Rodney Harris Jr. The big throw down the left side.
Roughing the passer. Does not matter. I think they're going to decline that.
Yeah, and you could see after the throw there, Lynn standing in there, taking a big shot, but putting the ball right on Harris Jr.
You could see this play develop. And once you saw Rodney Harris Jr., he got that step, and that's the luxury we have here in the booth, is we're able to see everything kind of play out in front of us. And you could see as Lynn dropped back, you kind of looked up on that far side of the field, and you saw Harris get that step, and it was just an easy, just run under the ball, and there was no shot that Middletown defense was going to stop him.
And the extra point is no good once again. The 3rd extra point miss, so only a 17-point lead here for Princeton. But the big play there to Harris Jr., they were moving the ball kind of, thoroughly, running the ball 6 or 7 yards at a time, but that opens up the play action, and a deep pass there to Harris Jr. for an easy touchdown.
That's about as perfect as you're going to get. You throw the ball up there and you let your receiver run right under it. Gorgeous throw from Lynn there, and then Rodney Harris Jr., like I said, just to have that ability and, the ease of just running under that ball and catching it and taking it to the house. It was, that's about as perfect as you're going to get. And I tell you one thing, when you look at, the way Mekhi Lynn throws this football, you understand why he leads the conference in passing. He's got a beautiful touch on it. Those deep balls, we had seen a couple of, his, like you were saying, his bullet passes, they've been off the money, they've been low, but, he gets under and lobs it in there. He does it to absolute perfection, and Princeton right now is taking advantage of that. And you can definitely see why they are 3-1 right now. This is a high-powered offense, and if they continue this, it is going to be a long, long night for the Middletown Middies.
Yeah, Princeton, they're 3-1, ranked number 6 in the AP polls for Division I, and you can see it with that high-powered offense. Lynn having over 130 yards just on his touchdown passes tonight. 3 long touchdown passes that have really led Princeton to a very nice lead here. And as you see, maybe a penalty after the kick, maybe some unnecessary roughness. Looks like they'll be kicking off from about the Middie 45 instead of their own 40. So if there's a time to try something, it might be now, but it looks like they're just going to try to kick it through the end zone. That's exactly what happens deep into the end zone, and Middletown will start with 3.5 minutes left in the second quarter, down 17, trying to get something going. Chris, do you go back to your running back, Josh Bryant, who's kind of been bottled up, or do you try to take some shots with your young quarterback, Kellen Davis?
I think you got to do a little bit of a mixture here, because we've seen, they've relied heavily on Bryant. And Princeton's defense, like I said, it's been a pride thing. They've stepped up. They got beat bad in the first quarter. They're not going to let it happen again. You have to mix in a couple passes here and there, and even a couple play-action passes too, to open this Princeton defense up a little bit. You saw some success early on, but, now they're just keying in on Bryant, and they're making it difficult for the Middletown offense.
Quick screen over there to the left side, and that'll be about 5 yards. That one out to, believe that was number 13, Rockhold, on the catch over there. So quick pass there, maybe trying to get Davis in a groove.
Yeah, that was Rockhold, and a great tackle by cornerback Dalen White. Because if he gets past White there, Rockhold has the speed he's getting a good chunk of yards and even possibly housing it after that. So great tackle by Dalen White.
Davis fakes the screen pass, now going deep. A little bit of hand fighting, but that one looked to be way over everybody's head and out of bounds.
Pass for the quarterback Davis fell incomplete.
Pass
Third down for the Middies.
Way over the hands of number 15, Darius Conley there.
Now I'm a little surprised that, as we came into this game, we had mentioned one of the players to watch was Kamari Fuller, the senior quarterback. He's 5'10", 200 pounds, and I watched him in pregame warm-ups. He was firing the ball around, looked really good in pregame warm-ups. I'm surprised, and I don't know, obviously, if there's another backstory to it, but, we've seen Kellen Davis playing a lot of it tonight, and it might be a mobility factor or not, but I as he takes a sack here, but I'm a little stunned we haven't seen Kamari Fuller yet.
Yeah, and that'll bring up fourth down here for the Middies, deep in their own territory, and it looks like it'll be a
timeout.
Princeton timeout. Still 2:33, and with the way Lynn can throw the ball around, that's plenty of time for them to try to add on to this 3-score lead.
Yeah, smart move there by coaching staff there to save some time. As you are now looking at your defense is facing a 4th and 5 here with 2:33 to go. Most likely you're forcing a punt, get the ball back, and like you were saying, the way Lynn's been throwing the ball, you're looking to make it, halfway to 80 before this half, this half's over with. So,
and also you have, number 9 Leroy Bowers, who's already returned to punt for a touchdown. So certainly another thing to worry about there for Middletown, who's had a tough time with their punt team. Did convert a 4th down on a punt over the head of J.C. Calhoun that he was able to pick up and run for a 1st down, but then the second punt gets returned for a touchdown by Bowers, and it looks like Calhoun is back here for his 2nd punt of the night.
Princeton switching up and going with D'Angelo Foster back to take the kick.
That's a high kick by Calhoun, trying to avoid a return, but a couple of nice midi bounces there, and able to get the ball across the 50. So 2:23 left and about 53 yards between the Vikings and the end zone.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they attack this drive here too. It was kind of the last drive we saw they were taking it pretty, it was slow and steady wins the race, as they would say, and then they, went forward a couple, and then they had a, penalty, but then that's when you saw Lynn air it out. I'd have to think you're going to probably see pretty much the same thing we saw last drive, where a pretty healthy dose of R.E. Turner and, with Ty Tanks coming in, run down this clock and then punch in the end zone before the half.
And Turner gets the ball up the middle, gets some room, and you can see the speed there by Turner as he's pulled down by a couple of Midi defenders, but picks up about 20 yards right there. And, you want to run down the clock, but you also don't mind those 20-yard runs.
I mean, when you're trying to run down the clock, I get it. But, man, we're getting these chunk runs. I mean, it's could happen a little quicker than you thought.
Once again, handoff to Turner. Has some room once again and picks up this time about 25 as he keeps the arms moving.
Wow.
And his teammates pull him into the end zone.
Wow.
And what a play by that Middie defense as there's a late flag there. Interesting to see what it is, but for right now, Ari Turner with about a 31-yard touchdown run. A lot of strength there by the little guy. I mean,
Man,
just 5'7", 155, but able to keep the legs turning and get a little help from his friends to get pulled into the end zone.
He wasn't messing around there. However, there is a flag in the backfield or at the 32-yard line, so this one is most likely going to be coming back.
Interesting to see what the ruling is here. I don't know if I know you can push guys into the end zone. I don't know about pulling them and dragging them, so haven't really seen that too much. But
no, you haven't seen that. I've been calling games for a couple years here with ICRC, and I can tell you one thing: I haven't called a game like this. This is a new one.
Yeah, I know. In my couple of years calling games, I haven't seen quite a few of the things that have happened in this game. So, will be interesting here. Coach trying to get an explanation. It looks like the refs are still talking about it a little bit. We'll see what the call is down here. Looks like, as we expected, it's probably going to be on Princeton. Maybe something both ways.
Sideline warning? What?
Oh. Princeton sideline warning.
You can see the Princeton head coach having a nice laugh there. And then after the play, a Middletown penalty after the play, some unsportsmanlike conduct, and something you don't like to see there. Second one by Middletown after a touchdown, but looks like the call will stand, and it'll be a touchdown for Princeton.
You see Mike Daniels, Princeton's head coach there. It didn't seem like he was real thrilled with some of the calls there, but Mike Daniels has done a simply phenomenal job with this Princeton football team, getting them back to prominence. You know, growing up in this area, Princeton used to be one of the most dominant teams in the area, and, you know, and Tanks is going to take this in for two. Wow.
I believe that was actually the touchdown. They actually said Turner's forward progress was stopped before he was dragged in. So just first and goal from the one, and when you got Ty Tanks available in your backfield, you just give it to the big man, and he rumbles in for an easy touchdown.
Man. Yeah, there was, I mean, you know, that's tough there for Ari Turner to, you know, take it all the way down in a couple plays. Have the big man run it in, clean it up there, but.
Yeah, and you can hear the whistle blow as the ball just short of the line to gain. And then Ty Tanks, not a whole lot going to stop him there. And that extra point good. Once again, 3 missed so far, but that one good. And Princeton halfway to 80 with still 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. So far, Princeton, after only leading by 3 after the first quarter, really flexing their muscles in the second quarter. Now up 40-16 after outscoring the Middies so far, 26-3 in this second quarter.
Yeah, this is not how you drew it up if you're Middletown. I mean, you knew you were facing an uphill battle against this Princeton offense, and I mean even Princeton defense. You know, we've seen what Mike Daniels and this coaching staff have done here at Princeton. But you know, if you're Middletown, I can't imagine you thought it was going to be, you know, quite like this. And this has been an impressive performance. You know, outside of a couple drives in the first half or the first quarter from Middletown, this has been an utterly dominant performance by Princeton. And again, Mike Daniels, he's got to be thrilled with where his team is at right now. With 1:57 to go here in the second quarter. And heck, if his defense can step up and, you know, even get a turnover here, they've got a chance to, you know, tack on some more points before the end of this half.
Yeah, and with the way Princeton's been scoring and kind of how this Middletown offense is stalled out, that's certainly not out of the question. As the ball is kicked off and returned, some room down the middle and not quite as big of a return by number 15 there for the Middies.
Darius Conley he's a receiver. Another one of the senior receivers on this Middletown team, and he's got some shiftiness to him as well. As you saw there, he with a pretty solid return after a short kick. He gives Middletown a pretty good spot here at the 36-yard line where they're going to start off their drive. So this is a big drive here for Middletown. If I don't want to say you're out of it already, but you get a chance to chip away here, you're going to try and do that. And you get Bryant back in it, and see, this is now the kind of drive that you were expecting with Bryant running the ball, getting about 8 yards on that play. So now, Princeton's defense had done a good job the last couple drives, and actually, in all fairness, in every drive of this quarter of shutting down Josh Bryant. And that was his biggest run so far this quarter, which was, like I said, you're looking at about 8 yards off on the right, off to the right there. Maybe 7. Let's see. Yeah, they had. See, it was weird because I didn't see any flags that were thrown there, but it looks like you might have seen a.
Yeah, it looks like possibly a late flag on the side. Maybe too many people. See a late conversation here.
Officials are not making it easy for us here tonight, man.
No, it doesn't seem like teams are making it very easy for them.
Yeah,
whole lot of conversation.
It's definitely all around. It's been a struggle for everyone here.
See referee Mike Harbison trying to just get everybody kind of controlled and try to keep things moving here.
Yeah, dead ball, illegal substitution. See, that's one thing that'll drive a head coach nuts, and I can tell you right now, Mike Daniels is not real thrilled with how that's played out, and he's, walking up and down the sidelines here.
But on the other side, and it looks like it's actually going to back up Middletown a couple yards, so actually that's Coach John Simpson of the Middies is the one that's not happy. Or no, they actually called it right before the play, so it's going to be 1st and 5. Whole lot of confusion there, but now they'll get Brian involved again, this time on 1st and 5. His longest run of the quarter does not count because of the penalty, but he'll get him back to about the same spot that he would have been.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like I said, he had a good run on that first down play, but unfortunately for him, it is all for naught as the clock keeps ticking here on the 2nd and 3.
Yeah, just about a minute left in the first half here. Lots of scoring so far. We'll see if we can find another touchdown as Bryant goes to the right side, able to get around some tacklers and able to fight his way. They're going to call it, I believe they're going to call it out of bounds. Out of bounds there to stop the clock with.
No, I think the one official, from what, the way this has gone, everyone's confused here. But I think the one official signaled that the clock should keep going. They just stopped it on. That's exactly what happened.
Yep, stopped it on the first down.
Stopped on the first down. Which that's a tough break for Middletown there. Now the clock continues to run.
Yeah, just 50 seconds left as Davis looks down the field, looking to the left, and that one is picked down the left side.
Oh, what a hit.
And taking a big shot there. That pick by number 23, Dalen White, his second pick of the game. This one not a house call, but a big return. But that one, Josh Bryant getting out some of maybe a little bit of pent-up energy from some of the runs that have gone nowhere. Putting a big hit on White to knock him out of bounds. But this is kind of the danger zone here for Middletown. Once again, this Princeton offense has been moving the ball quick. So 42 seconds with still a timeout. plenty of time here for Princeton, especially with a quarterback that's had 3 touchdown passes of more than 40 yards.
Yeah, they're going to spread them out too. Watch for the run. Nope, I'm just kidding with you.
Lynn, lots of time.
Man.
He'll run out to his right. He's actually going to take it.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy call.
You're going to get a blindside block there by the wide receiver trying to come up and help out his quarterback, but
that was D'Angelo Foster there who's going to get flagged.
And yeah, just kind of a tough play for Princeton there. Foster, you want to help out your quarterback, but you can't come across the field and hit a guy that's running the other way, so that'll be 15 yards.
That's a discipline thing right there. That's just, you know you can't do that. And as you watch Lynn as he was running on that play, he was pointing as Daniels continues to plead his case with the officials there. But that's, that's
pretty close to the letter of the law when you hit a guy. They usually say if he's running the other way and you hit him, kind of in the ear hole, then
that's a big moment for a guy. A 5'7" receiver, you get a chance to light up a defender like that. All the time in the world for Lynn. You see he's pointing there to, that's an easy call. As Cameron Cooper, the linebacker, was the one on the chase there. I mean, that's, again, like you said, letter of the law. You can't do that. You got to be smarter on that, and you got to be a little more disciplined than that to make that mistake.
Yeah, and once again, a tough break, but something, these guys should know. Sometimes a little bit tougher on offense, especially a wide receiver that doesn't block as much. But you could see Coach Mike Daniels at the end, kind of shaking his head. Understands, especially that call is a big safety one, and it'll back up Princeton. Once again, Lynn, tons of time to throw, but just nowhere to throw it as he gets out of the pocket. This time getting a couple yards, but just 13 seconds on the clock as a lot of time being ticked off the last couple of plays with Lynn running around in the pocket.
Yeah, you can see the Middletown defense is definitely playing what you could say is a prevent defense. They're not going to get beat deep here with especially with 13 seconds left. Middletown's doing the job, and they're just going to let Lynn just run it and waste down that clock there and get to halftime, but.
Yeah, Lynn a decent runner, but hasn't exactly been a guy to kind of run past the defense. Has mostly been getting his, 4 to 8 yards and running out of bounds. And it looks like they'll blow that play dead right away.
Delay a game. See, now you're shooting yourself in the foot there.
Yeah, backing up 5 more yards, and that'll just be, it turns second and long into second and longer.
But here's the thing. The way we've seen this Princeton offense so far, this is nothing for him, I mean, he can easily fire up a ball here. And
yeah, once again, passing touchdowns of 40, 43, and 54 yards. As you see a deep pass there.
Oh.
Look into the end zone, but that one over the head of everybody. And now just 5 seconds on the clock. I believe was looking for Rodney Harris Jr., who did have a long touchdown catch earlier in this quarter, but that one just a little bit too tall for everybody.
Yeah, that was a great throw, and Harris got turned around there, and I think if he had turned around the other way, he's making that play.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of stopped, and Lynn was expecting him to keep running. If he turns kind of into the field, then that could have been a big play there for the Vikings.
Yeah, he knows it too. He's smiling as he's coming off the field. He knows exactly what happened there.
See on the Middletown sideline, Coach Don Simpson trying to coach up the defense, trying to kind of cut the bleeding here. Once again, outscored 26-3 by the Vikings here in the second quarter. Was a great back and forth start in the first quarter, but Princeton heavily favored. Number 6 team in the AP poll, and definitely flexing their muscles here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they're not messing around here in this game, and 5 seconds left in this in this half. I wouldn't be surprised. Mike Daniels in this offense. They're going to want to, maybe put the final nail in the coffin here of Middletown in this game. That's what you're, wanting to do. And as you can see, Middletown's they're playing. They got some deep safeties back there, some deep coverage.
Yeah, got some guys about 15, 20 yards off the ball. They got about 8 people in the defensive backfield as they just try to prevent any big plays. Flynn going to chuck it up to the end zone, looking for a couple guys, and that one almost brought in. I believe that was Rodney Harris Jr., the big wide receiver, looking for that catch, but unfortunately for Princeton, not able to add on to that lead. But a wonderful second period for the Vikings as they outscore the Middies 26-3, but it all started with that pick six, one of 2 picks by Dalen White. And at the end of 2 periods here in Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV, the Princeton Vikings lead the Middletown Middies 40-16. We'll be
Get it. Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Is she gonna get it, Daddy?
She'll get it.
Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe!
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
We save homes and restore pride. We are people working cooperatively. Our typical client earns less than $14,000 annually and cannot afford the critical repairs they need to safely live at home, where they desperately want to be. Our services truly change lives, one repair at a time. Our professionally trained staff, along with 25,000 volunteer hours annually, has provided more than 280,000 services for low-income, elderly, and disabled homeowners in our communities. Every service makes an impact. Homes we service have an increased sales price of 10%, and even the value of surrounding homes increase upwards of 3%. Our energy conservation services save clients an average of $300 a year. These total savings from all customers equals over $200,000 in outstanding energy bills paid. With safer living environments, almost 50% of our clients reported improved health, and many are seeking medical attention less frequently. By living healthy at home, over $54,000 in state and federal funds can be saved annually for each client that does not need to move to assisted living. PwC's impact is more than just dollars and cents. Stable homes create stable families, which means children who are moving less frequently can achieve higher academic success. We are an investment in the future. More people living safely in their own home paints a brighter future for everyone, but we can't do it alone. We need your help to continue to build a brighter future for the entire community. Give back and get involved at pwchomrepairs.org.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Good morning, Uglyville! Every ugly doll is unique.
I'm Moxie.
Bobo.
Wait.
Call me Slick Doll.
What?
And every child is too.
They can be pretty lovable.
That's why when you travel, you should make sure your child is in the right seat for their age and size.
This is why you're the wisest doll in town.
Well, keep them safe by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Isn't that right, gibberish cat?
Couldn't be better.
Find the right seat today.
I'll be right back. Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
See that? Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text-to-emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfies. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Welcome back to Pat Mancuso Field at Viking Stadium on the Princeton City Schools campus for Friday Night Football on ICRC Sports. Greg Miller along with Chris Asbrock as you saw the nice shot of the fall move in Cincinnati as we get you set for this second half between the Middletown Middies and the Princeton Vikings. Chris, Middletown was able to keep it close in the first half, but kind of let things get away from them in the second quarter, most notably with running back Josh Bryant, who had 100 yards in the first quarter, but only 2 in the second.
Yeah, things got a little sideways, Greg, in the second quarter for Middletown. Like you were saying, Josh Bryant was the man in the first quarter. 8 rushes for 100 yards. Like I said, then it became a pride factor for the Princeton defense. They were not going to let Bryant beat them, and that's exactly what happened. They shut him down and only forced him to just a handful of yards. I mean, that's what you want out of your defense, to adapt and adjust to the way the game is playing out, and that's exactly what Mike Daniels and his coaching staff did and forced Middletown into a lot of pressure situations. And they took advantage of it, and now again they outscored Middletown 26-3 in the second quarter, and now it's 40-16 as we get ready to start the second half. So for Princeton, hey, it's continue to do what you're doing, and Middletown, you got to change it up a little bit and get back in this game.
And you can see the kick there fielded at about the 30-yard line, fielded by one of their returners with a full cast on his right arm. That was running back Maurice Bolden, who looked like he just kind of caught that and fell down, didn't want to risk any fumbles there. But this Princeton offense coming back out on the field, of course, led by their quarterback, Mekdi Lynn, who had 181 yards passing, which is just 16 shy of what he averages on the year, and 3 touchdowns, all of 40 yards or more.
Yeah, he put on a clinic so far, in this game, and look for him to continue the same as they were pretty much unstoppable on a lot of their drives.
Lynn with Ari Turner, who had a very nice first half in the backfield, breaks a couple tackles, gets to the right, and is able to pick up another couple yards. Ran about 15 or 20 yards there just to get about 3. Turner, the smaller, shifty back, able to get a nice first down game.
It looks like it's going to be called back for illegal motion.
The flag is against the Vikings.
Yeah, Ari Turner is, he's a fun one to watch, and like we were saying, only 5'7", 155 pounds, but man, he is shifting. He is fun to watch when he's got the ball in his hands. I mean, he's, his ability to change direction and use his speed and agility is, it's top notch so far, and it's been so much fun so far in this game.
Yeah, Turner, 9 rushes for 84 yards, so almost 10 yards a pop. As Lynn gets to the outside and throws it to the right, but that one incomplete. Looking for number 87 on that play, Hassan Robertson, sophomore tight end. And now it'll be 3rd down for the Vikings. Vikings have not punted yet tonight. So see if they'll be able to convert another 3rd down.
Flag was thrown for an illegal man downfield as the lineman was past the line of scrimmage. Well, he was past the original line of scrimmage. They flagged him for it as the official, right in the middle, just pretty much dropped the flag right at their feet. And, they're going to tack on another 5 yards onto this. And it's, now you're looking at a 1st and 20 now for...
Yeah, 2 plays for the Vikings. Wouldn't be third down. 1st and 20 as both of their first 2 plays nullified by penalty. So now 1st and very long as Lynn steps back to pass, throws it over the middle, has a wide open receiver for a big gain and a 1st down. That's D'Angelo Foster, who's had a couple of nice touchdown catches tonight. Foster with the big gain and a 1st down.
You see Lynn step back to hit all the time in the row and just fired one to a wide open D'Angelo Foster.
Coming up to the line quickly here. Lynn giving it off to Turner, who picks up a couple yards here.
That's one thing you see with this Princeton offense is they don't get flustered in terms of, if it's a long yardage situation, they don't seem to care because they can fire the ball around or they can run it and not have to worry about, are we going to get it? They feel confident on every play. They're getting 10 or more yards. That's their their mentality on each one of these plays.
Lynn will run the ball to the left side, break a couple tackles, cut it back to the right. He's got some room, and Mehdi Lynn done it with his arm so far tonight, but now with the big run with his leg, a 51-yard scamper for Mehdi Lynn, and just another touchdown in the barrage of points here for Princeton.
Well, that was quick. That was quick. It only took 1:31. And you just see him. He follows his blockers, and then once he gets in the open field, you're not going to stop him. I mean, you get that. He's got that Lamar Jackson type style. He's a tall kid. He's 6'3", 180, shifty. He's got a great arm, speed. I mean, he's exactly what you want out of your quarterback. And I mean, he's done it all tonight, and he's been definitely the man of the game for Mike Daniels and his Princeton Vikings as they look to tack on another extra point.
Yeah, a couple missed extra points by Princeton, but that one right through to make it now a 31-point lead for Princeton as Lynn has been the maestro here for Princeton. Now 4 touchdown plays of more than 40 yards, 3 passes and a 51-yard run as he takes it himself right there. And since the end of the first quarter now, it has been all Princeton up by 31 points.
Yeah, this hasn't been ideal if you're Middletown, but for Princeton, like I said, this has been an absolute clinic. And they have just done a great job. Overall, offensively, they are a dangerous team, and they're one that you're not going to want to face in the playoffs when they get going here in a couple weeks. This is a team you do not want to face because they are high-powered offensively and can go up against anybody in the city.
Yeah, definitely some stars on offense, as we mentioned with, Lynn and Turner and Rodney Harris Jr., some stars on defense. Dalen White, 2 picks. Leroy Bowers with a return, and the UC commit has been great in the back of that Princeton defense. So good offense, good defense, pretty good special teams so far, and that's why in the last quarter and a couple minutes it's been all Princeton, 33-3 since the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, they say basketball is a game of runs, and that's what we're seeing here in this one. You outscore your opponent 33-3 over a span of time. It's not going to go well for you.
And there's a muff return as it gets kind of kicked again, but able to be returned. Couldn't tell. Believe that was. Yeah, that was number 15 on the return, Darius Conley. Able to pick the ball up, get a couple yards. A little bit of pushing and shoving there, but looks like everyone's kind of walked away and gotten separated.
Yeah, this is something you're going to have to watch as this game moves forward. It's just going to be a pure frustration factor now for Middletown as they, after the first quarter, nothing has gone right for them, and they can't seem to get anything going, and the frustration's just going to continue to mount. So you can see he just, Conley just muffed it, and he's just gonna get mauled, and again, it's holding on to a couple legs here and there. It's just going to be some pushing. Oh, step there. Wow.
Yeah, and you could tell he wasn't quite down, and then you could see one of the Princeton players jumping up after he looked like he kind of got stepped on. So
yeah, that was Kyron Mack was the one who stepped on the Princeton player, and I'm curious to see if any of the officials saw that, or it looks like they're just going to give him stern talking to and tell well,
maybe they did see it.
Yeah, the officials, he's letting them know. As both coaches are out, and it looks like both captains. So this is something you're going to want to get under wraps here real quick. Otherwise, this could really get out of hand. And
yeah, certainly something you don't want to see. Obviously the game's a little bit out of hand, but at this point, the last thing you'd want to see is someone get kicked out or someone make a poor decision. Right now it's about having class and learning on both sides. So hopefully cooler heads will prevail. Both coaches, Don Simpson and Mike Daniels, trying to kind of have a talk to with their team. You can see Daniels getting his whole team around, telling them, hey, cut this out. We don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah, Mike Daniels, he's such a great speaker too, and he's a phenomenal head coach, and this is his time to shine right now and getting his team, rally them back and getting them, get their minds right here in this game. And like you were saying, you don't want to see it get out of hand. You want cooler heads to prevail, and in a game where it's gotten out of hand like this in terms of the the score line, you definitely just want you want things to to play out in the most respectful way possible, and both coaches are now addressing their teams, and look for that to be the case here as this game moves forward.
Yeah, it's one thing to get a penalty or have something happen because you're trying hard and you grab a jersey, or even sometimes you get a personal foul because you're just trying to make a play and you hit someone, but you don't want to see these extracurriculars, the talking, the pushing and shoving, and it seems like both coaches have had conversations with their whole team. Hopefully people have kind of calmed down and we can get back to Friday Night Football, and that's really what it's all about.
Exactly. This is where the running clock is going to be beneficial. Kind of get this thing wrapped up a little quicker than normal. So, great run.
With the lead here, will be a running clock, but you can see the nice run. J.C. Calhoun, who had a nice return earlier in the game, able to take the ball all the way from the 18-yard line to about the 22-yard line. So about a 60-yard run there.
That was a great run. You could see when Davis, we got a penalty. Yep, there's a flag back at the 20. You're going to have to march that back.
Yeah, they're going to call holding against Middletown, and it's tough to see that, after a big play, finally getting a little momentum after, what's been a tough quarter plus for the Middies. And, you feel for J.C. Calhoun, who put the moves on, really tried to make a play, and unfortunately for Middletown, all it's going to lead is, 10 yards backwards.
And that explains why he was able to get to that right side so easy. There was nobody there, in terms of, being able to, break containment and get outside of the ends. And you can see that was obviously because of the hold. Tough break, you take, one step forward, two steps back, that's, as an offense, you're trying to, keep this game going. That's the last thing you want is to continue to shoot yourself in the foot as you're trying to get together a good drive.
Yeah, Davis will get things started again. Now first and very long as, I believe that was number 5 again, Josh Bryant, who's had real tough sledding after the first quarter. Once again, absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, that did not go well. It's been, like you said, tough sledding. You can see the frustration from Josh Bryant there. So he got hit, and
That's not on Bryant right there. He gets hit by the time he even can touch the ball.
Yeah, you're asking a lot for your running back there to make some moves after 4 yards deep in the backfield and trying to get past some of these defenders. That's tough. And now you're backed up here on your own 2-yard line.
Yeah, second and very long. Second and about 26 as Davis is going to throw from the end zone under some pressure. And he'll throw that ball away, but...
Yep, that's going to be intentional grounding, and you got a safety.
Yep, you're going to get intentional grounding. I was trying to look behind, see if he was possibly out of the tackle box, but looks like he was still in there, and it looks like they're going to call intentional grounding.
Yeah, there wasn't a receiver even remotely close either.
Yep, and they're going to call the safety there, so another 2 points for Princeton as you can see some excitement there.
Linebacker Josh Harris there with the moves. Tip of the cap to him on that. That was nice.
Yeah, a lot of nice pressure here. I mean, these defensive line guys and especially these linebackers, Antonio Nunley, I mean, John Harris, Anas Lunkman, all getting some pressure in the backfield. So a lot of those guys have been making things extremely difficult as we've seen on the last couple plays and really since the beginning of the second quarter for Middletown.
Well, as a defensive player, you pride yourself as well in shutting out an offense, and that's what we've seen so far. They have turned up the pressure, and as soon as you saw that last run by Josh Bryant where he lost the 4 yards, you knew it was going to be, Princeton was going to pin their ears back, and they were going to come after him and make a statement here in this drive, and that's exactly what happened. You see Davis roll; he had nobody to throw to, and there's nobody there. He just, he just threw the ball away to avoid a sack, and there is the reaction there from John Harris. Love it there, the pure excitement of the defensive stand, and like I said,
and that's the raw emotion you want to see. You don't want to see the push it and shove it. Kids get excited, you understand. They're just having fun.
That's what I'm right there with you. That's what you want to see from your team. You're playing a game. You're out there to have fun and win some football games. And right now, if you're Princeton, you're having fun because they are making a statement here. And now, you're up 49-16 after the safety. You get the ball back with 6:33 to go. I mean, you can just continue to tack on points here, and this could be just continue to become more of a nightmare for Middletown.
Yeah, and still about quarter and a half here to go. About 6.5 minutes to go as Middletown will take their free kick from their own 20. Punt by J.C. Calhoun, fielded at about the 40-yard line, and Princeton will get a start here in Middletown territory after a nice 12 or so yard return by D'Angelo Foster. Oh, sorry, that was actually number 9, Leroy Bowers. I thought I saw the 0 there, not the 9. 9's kind of tucked up in there.
Well, like we had talked, it's pretty it's tough. As the sun goes down, it becomes virtually impossible for us to read these numbers, even when they're right in front of us here on the bench. It's hard.
Yeah, the gray on red is an interesting combo here. Yeah, not exactly meant for us announcers to read the numbers.
I was going to say, they don't make it easy for us here to read it, especially when, we come into this game and I can barely tell which team it is. I mean, I'm naming everyone in the GMC but the 2 that are playing, so.
Well, Lynn will hand it off to Tanks, who shows a little bit of speed there, getting out to the right. I think tried to hurdle someone
the big
there.
Man there with the.
But is a penalty flag on the right side.
That's in the spot where you're going to see a hold again.
Yep, and you can see the side judge calling the hold. Already signaling for it.
Yeah, it's tough to see where it actually took place.
It looked to be number 76. I believe that's Yashru Younger trying to get an arm around on the right side.
Yeah, kind of had him turn around a little bit, it looked like, and it makes it tough. But, if you're Princeton here, let's see.
All right, so now Princeton backed up even further, about 1st and 16 now, but still pretty good starting field position and certainly not more than they can handle based on a team that's already put up 49 points so far. run once again to the outside with Tanks, and Tanks showing once again he's a very tough guy to tackle, getting about 5 there and carrying a couple tackles with him.
Looks like Princeton has subbed in Solomon Erkins as the other senior quarterback here. See, again, it's hard to read. Now I just looked and just caught my eye there because I'm like, oh, I didn't see Lynn out there. Yeah, Solomon Erkins is the one under center now. Well, not under center, but in the backfield for Princeton. So,
yeah, getting some other guys some playing time, especially, another senior in a game where he's got some time. But he's running for his life here and able to show a little bit of speed, too. At least, I guess, get a couple of yards there. At least get something there on a play that looked to be pretty dead early.
As you can see the replay, yeah, he simply turned around. It was, the wrong direction on the play. The play was kind of broken right from the get-go, so great job by Erkins to make something out of nothing there on that. And now it's a big 3rd and 11 here, and see what Princeton's able to do.
Yeah, big number 78, Javen Davis for the Middies, right in his face, but able to put a nice spin move out, get out of the pocket, and get a few yards to make it 3rd and about 11. A little bit of a high snap there. Nowhere to go. Trying to get to the outside and will be thrown out of bounds, I believe, for a loss of a couple there. Quarterback Solomon Erkins. But once again, backup quarterback Solomon Erkins in there.
Check on the official. He got hit on the sideline there. You could see him he was undercut on that tackle. Looked to be the linebacker possibly. That might have been Cameron Jr. was the one who was chasing after Erkins there, and the play on the sideline took out the official, and he was slow to get up, and now they're obviously taking a look at him, the Princeton training staff. And
yeah, it looks like he's kind of pointing to his side, kind of up near his chest area. Once again, Cameron Jr., a big guy, D1 recruit, certainly. If you could have your pick of defenders to get hit by, I'm sure he'd be very low on that list.
Yeah, as you see, Erkins, he was in a tough spot there trying to make nothing, and you can see, yeah, it was Cameron Jr. coming out, and
yeah, Jr. just tries to make the tackle, kind of misses his legs, and then just comes rolling into the official, and you never like to see that. And
he landed hard. There was, yeah, he landed. If you see, after he was undercut, there was no bracing to that fall. He took all of it on the turf there, and that hurts. And obviously, you wish the best for the official there as this game moves forward. That's a tough hit. That's why you wear pads as a player. Man, I tell you what, he's definitely going to be sore from that one for a while.
Yeah, I think there'll be a giant purple bruise on the right ribs for him.
There we go. Fist bumping there. He's a referee. He's ready to keep it going. I like that.
He's a football ref.
There we go.
He's good and ready to go. So thankfully he's okay, and we're back to playing here on 4th and about 14, and it looks like Princeton will be back and punting for their first time tonight.
Snaps have been
high
just
snap
say,
over the head. And just punter unfortunately takes a pretty tough hit, and they're going to be backed up all the way to about the 5-yard line. So Middletown taking advantage, able to push them back even a little bit further, and going to get a first down from about the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to get that out of my mouth, but I was going to say one thing to watch was the snap. It seems like a lot of the snaps on special teams have been pretty bad. And that one just rocketed through the hands of the punter there. He paid for it. As you can see right through his hands. And
yeah, that's number 61, Justin Wood, only 5'8", 145. So, a high snap is just that much higher. Gets over his head, and then he takes the shot, able to get Ari Turner able to at least get the ball, but nowhere to go. And Now it'll be first down. It looks like there was some confusion there.
Well, there was a whistle that was blown. And
I believe that was after the snap, too, to start the clock. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to replay that one, but probably some more conversation here.
Yeah, this has been a tough night all around for a lot of people. Snapped the ball and you could see the official blows the whistle and he's signaling to wind the clock and keep it going. And then Kellen Davis was he's a big boy. He's going to run that one in. So all for naught.
Yeah, it looks like they'll hand it off now, pushing towards the end zone and down to about the 1 yard line is Josh Bryant. Now second down and goal.
Yeah, Middletown not giving up here, as you would expect. I mean, it's kind of one of those situations. Bryant's going to take that, or not Bryant, but
Davis is going to take that one in himself for a touchdown for the Middies, and they get their first touchdown since the first quarter here, putting some points back on the board, making it 22-49, and it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there, try and go for two. Why not at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's been struggle city for you so far, so.
And even in the place kicking game, a missed extra point too, so might as well try to run it. And it looks like they'll give it off to Bryant on the left side, and he'll be in pretty easily, and that'll be another 2 points for the Middies to make it 49-24.
25-point game here right now, and it's kind of slowed up a little bit. It's been a long game. If you kind of you see the amount of points that that we've seen so far. It's the way this game's going. If you're a defensive fan, it's been pretty tough to watch, unless you're on the Princeton side. But if you like points, this has been the game, because it's been there's been some action offensively.
Yeah, 73 points here through not even 3 quarters. So Princeton obviously scoring quite a bit of points, but Middletown able to match after the fumbled punt. You can see down on the field Solomon Erkins, backup quarterback, warming up again. Looks like Mekdi Lynn's day is probably done, so it'll be Erkins that'll probably take the Vikings the rest of the way here with still a 25-point lead.
Yeah, in a game like this, you don't want to, I don't want to say you have it already wrapped up in the bag, but you're cruising your way to your 4th victory of the season, looking at going to 4-1. You don't want to get your star players hurt. We got to play it safe and get some other guys some experience as well. Even though Solomon Erkins is a senior quarterback, I mean.
Yeah, still in football, you're always one play away from getting in. We've seen it a couple times in college and the pros, and it looks like that's a muff punt or a muff
gets it.
kickoff, and yeah, that's recovered by Elijah Rockhold. Looks like it was a high kick that looked to be caught, but kind of squirted out of his hands, and high enough that the Middletown hands team able to get down there and jump on that.
Just like they drew it up. I mean, it was one of those.
Yeah, it actually bounces right in front of one of the Vikings players and takes a nice Middletown bounce, kind of checks up, and the Middies are now in decent position to at least cut into this lead a little bit.
I mean, here's the thing, it's only a 25-point game. You get a touchdown here, this game ain't even close to being over with.
Especially not with all the points we've seen tonight and the quick scores.
Like I said, I've been calling football for a couple years now. This is definitely one of the craziest games I've seen.
Davis going for the end zone, and that one will be picked off pretty far out of bounds by Jamar Matthews. Davis has not been shy about slinging the ball down the field. Sometimes he's thrown it up a little bit, but certainly at least nice to see, instead of kind of making sure you have to open up your quarterback, trying to check down too much. You know, it's a little bit easier to rein someone in than, you know, have to make sure they throw the ball down the field a little bit more. And Davis has shown that he's more than willing to do that.
Exactly. Here's Calhoun. Even with it seems to be the backup, you know, defensive players, they're still getting a good amount of pressure there, and they forced Calhoun out wide there, and he ended up having to run, you know, I think a little farther than he expected on that in a play that he was supposed to be off tackle, but he had no shot there as there was defensive players. And Leroy Bowers was the man, the safety, who came up, and he was right there, and he made things difficult for Calhoun, forcing him out wide in a loss of 4 on that play.
Yeah, a lot of defensive penetration, you know, a lot of getting through that offensive line very quick, and that's affected those running backs' ability. And you can see Davis under a lot of pressure again, and he's going to go down for a big loss here. Number 11, Antonio Nunley Jr., the junior linebacker. And it looks like most of the starters actually still out here for Princeton.
Yeah, they're,
you know, still a 25-point game. They know if Middletown scores again, then it's definitely a game. So maybe just trying to shut it down now while they can. As we reach the end of the third quarter here, Princeton still keeping a commanding lead, up 25 with just a quarter to go. We'll take a break and be back in a second here for the fourth quarter of Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football here on ICRC Sports as we get a good look at Princeton head coach Mike Daniels talking to his team. He's got to be happy about the way things are going tonight. Princeton with a 25-point lead here in the fourth quarter, up 49-24 over the Middletown Middies. Greg Miller here along with Chris Asbrock calling the fourth quarter of this game. Chris, Middletown's had their chances to kind of get back into it, you know, getting a quick touchdown and then recovering kind of the pooch kick, but have not been able to do anything on this drive. It is fourth and very long.
Yeah, this is, man, that's going to finish it like, not the way Middletown was hoping for there, but, you know, this Princeton defense has done just a simply fantastic job of, you know, they've turned it up after that first quarter, and they were gashed for 13 points. And I don't want to say it was, you know, they were gashed, but they kind of were.
Yeah, gave up a big pass on third and very long, a long run, but it seems like in the second half here, the Vikings have been in the backfield in, you know, a second or less. That drive, getting the ball at the 29-yard line, a run that basically goes for nothing, maybe a loss of 1 or 2, and then a couple straight sacks of Kellen Davis, or I guess an incomplete pass and 2 straight sacks of Kellen Davis to get the ball actually the 40-yard line. As I believe they'll give it back to Ari Turner again. Ari Turner's still out there.
Yeah, they're bringing back, because now Lynn is back in the game for Princeton, so you can see Mike Daniels, they're going to make a statement right now, and they're going to put this game to bed. That's the mentality you're seeing here with 11:35 to go.
Yeah, had a couple backups there. You know, Solomon Erkins, the backup quarterback, in, but after the punt goes over the punter's head and Middletown able to convert a touchdown, you know, the pooch kick that bounces Middletown's way, and they're able to recover it. Now, even though they don't score there, Princeton bringing back out the first stringers. And back to Ari Turner, but one of the few times he's been stopped in his track.
Lamont Chambers was the one who blew through the defense there, and he's a little hurt there. He's feeling that one, but you know, Turner came in and Chambers, wow. That was a size mismatch there, and he was going to feel it. Now Chambers is the one he's feeling. It looked like he hit his arm on Ari Turner's helmet, and that's when he's shaking his arm on there.
Yeah, we're gonna get a timeout here for the injury while they look at the injured player. But let's take a quick look at the cable TV replay schedule. You enjoyed this game. You enjoyed points so much the first time. Maybe you have some family members that want to check it out. We got the full replay schedule here. Friday all the way till next Thursday at 10 a.m.
Make sure you check us out in this barrage of points that we've seen so far.
Yeah, if someone likes points, this is certainly the game from them. If maybe there's something you've never seen before that you want to show off to a friend, got the replay schedule, and of course, always available on demand at ICRC-TV.com. And then you're going to see some credits along the bottom. Shout out to everybody, especially our producer and director, Gene Lowry, for keeping us in line, and all the volunteers doing some, camera work and cord work, and everybody else. So, once again, if you want to get involved, ICRC-TV.com, you can volunteer. Heck, you can even be in the booth for one of these games if you're interested in broadcasting some sports here on ICRC-TV. Another run up the middle. And that one, they're bringing Tanks back in, and he runs for a nice couple of yards. A little bit slow to get up, but he's a hard runner. He'll run for a first down.
Yeah, that was a powerful run there by Ty Tanks, and he got up a little gingerly there, so now Turner's going to check back in. That was a great run there by Tanks. He just went, right up the middle, and, there was nobody that was going to stop him there. And again, that's what you want to see from Mike Daniels there. He's got to be happy with what his offense has done so far, or at least with the starters, because obviously, like we were talking about with the backups, and things didn't go as swimmingly well. But
and a little bit more pressure now, getting a couple guys into the backfield to stop Turner. He'll get maybe a yard or two there as we go under 10 minutes here left in this game, and you can see Turner. Those small guys, some powerful legs, even with a tackler draped all over him, able to push forward and turn a no gain into a gain of 1.5 there. Little jet sweep action to the outside, and that'll be a couple of yards, and a broken tackle and another broken tackle as D'Angelo Foster is finally spun down. Foster's been a guy who has kind of done it all, returned some kicks, a nice receiving touchdown, and then also, some running on the jet sweep there.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, you can see his speed, man. He gets outside and he turns it up, and he has got some afterburners on him. He gets going. He's a tough one to stop, tough one to catch up with, and it was luckily for Middletown they were able to trip him up a little bit. Otherwise, that's a house call there.
Yeah, you can see him come in motion again. They fake the jet sweep this time and give it off to Turner. You can see a couple of Middletown defenders going to the right, and Turner gets wrapped up by a whole host of Middie defenders, but able to pick up a decent gain there and picks up the first down as Princeton moves into the red zone. Not exactly a place they've been too much, even though they've scored all the points. A lot of their points off some long plays, but able to run it here into the red zone with a big run that's finished pretty powerfully by Turner.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of bleeding the clock here, which is exactly what they want to do. There's no need to throw it in the air. You just, looks like Turner's going to, nope. Who's going to lower his shoulder? Man.
Turner's starting to run angry now. You can see him. He was a little bit shifty earlier, but now, as the game's gone on, you've seen a little bit more power out of the
man. I mean, he lowers his shoulder here, and he's just going to boomstick action there. And Ari Turner has been as advertised so far. He's been a lot of fun to watch. Again, really who on this Princeton offense hasn't been fun to watch? It's
yeah. And Turner, not even the starting running back for them.
Wow.
Their starter hasn't really played, but you see the little fake there, and Lynn will just walk in for another touchdown as Princeton adds on to their lead, making it 31, as it is now 55 to 24.
I mean, you're going to look at this replay here, and it couldn't have been any easier for Lynn to walk in. I mean,
yeah, backside defensive end just
there.
crashes down and absolutely no one back there. Lynn basically just able to skip in, and there's another rushing touchdown as he has 2 rushing touchdowns to add on to his, I believe, 3 passing touchdowns. So just all over the place tonight. And huge game here for Mechty Lynn, the top passer in the GMC. As the extra point is good, and now it is 56 to 24. As you can see him look up at his offensive coordinator with a nice smile, talking about the play. You gotta give some props to your offensive coordinator when you're able to walk into the end zone like that.
And that's got to be a really good feeling of picking up that headset, turning around, and giving your OCs up here in the booth a big smile. That's, you know, you love seeing that from a kid. It's, you know, and that's fantastic. You know, good for him. He definitely deserves it. He's had one heck of a game, and so far one heck of a season. And he is definitely one, as advertised, throwing the football. So he's just going to continue to pad his lead in the GMC.
Yeah, averaging, over 180 yards a game, as we said, leaded the GMC in passing by 340 yards, which for a lot of guys is, 2 or 3 full games of passing, and we've only played 4 games so far. So this guy, just throwing the ball has been on another level, but has even been able to show that he can get it done with his feet. And as we mentioned earlier, this Princeton team, after the first quarter, getting a couple of the mistakes out of the way, has looked as advertised, and they will be a very tough out in the playoffs. Did not know, 6-game schedule for most of the teams in Ohio. Every team will make the playoffs, so whether you're on top or you've had a rough season, every team will make the playoffs. It's just more about seeding and possibly getting some buys. But if you see your first round game against Princeton, that's kind of a tough wake-up call, because this Viking team looks legit.
Yeah, it's a team you don't want to play. Plain and simple, you don't want to play them. High-powered offense, just they're gonna make your life miserable as a defensive coordinator. One that I tell you what, game planning for a team like this, it's not really what you're wanting to deal with as you move it forward into a game week.
Yeah, Middletown bringing the offense back out here. Once again, after the first quarter, aside of, the 5-yard touchdown drive, has not gotten a whole lot done. A couple big runs negated by a penalty, especially the 60-yard run by J.C. Calhoun last drive. So, 2 drives ago. So some tough sledding by the Middies right now, but just try to get something together, as we mentioned. Didn't quite have all the training camp that some other teams have, so just trying to get something going, maybe get some prep in for next week, or maybe some confidence in for next week.
Yeah, because Princeton, Mike Daniels and this Princeton team, they've got a tough one next week. They go on the road to end the regular season at Fairfield, and that's a tough one for them. I mean, it's, Fairfield hasn't had the best season. It's definitely one that, not many had expected, but, Fairfield's they're no joke. And right now, I think, last I checked, they were beating Lakota East, who's a team that, has been kind of a nightmare for other GMC teams to play as well. And in fact, Lakota East just knocked off this Princeton team last week. So, that sets up a big matchup, to end the regular season, because any team moving forward in the playoffs, you want to have some momentum going into it. You don't want to go into the playoffs coming off of a loss. It just makes it a little more tough, and difficult, and puts a bad taste in your mouth as you move forward into the playoffs in Ohio.
Yeah, the Middies ending their season against Walnut Hills, playing an out-of-conference game, as Calhoun just nowhere to run and gets crushed backwards. Big loss there, but Middletown, as they had the late start to their season, once again didn't restart football till the day of the first game, which is why they're only playing a 5-game season. GMC teams were allowed to schedule other opponents when it was unsure whether Middletown was going to play. So week 6, Sycamore had already rescheduled a game to play West Claremont, so Middletown plays Walnut Hills in their season finale. Now 4th down and about 10 here. Middletown going to call timeout, see maybe what they want to do here. It looks like they might just punt it away, have punter J.C. Calhoun back there. We're going to kick it to a short break here during the timeout. We'll be back for the conclusion of Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV. Princeton with the big lead over Middletown, 56-24.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
Alrighty. A punt away for Middletown on 4th down. Fielded by Princeton, trying to work to the outside. That one fielded by number 27, Jay Robertson. Able to get the ball up near midfield here as Princeton looks to bleed out the last 5.5 minutes, as it looks like we have an injured player on the near sideline.
Looks like Tarek Richardson, defensive back, senior D-back. One who's hurt.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. He looks down on his back, so hopefully nothing too serious as a couple coaches are there to take a look at him.
Props to Princeton's medical staff. They were right out there immediately. He went down and, and getting him some medical attention pretty quick. So, on them for that, you never want to see, obviously never want to see anything like that happen. Injuries are always part of the game, but, hopefully he'll be able to, come back next week and keep it going for the Middies.
Yeah, and you can see him still down there, so certainly not something you like to see. (26) on the left side of the screen. Gets juked out. Oh, and it looks like his knee just turns and then gets fell on by one of the other players. So
that was an awkward fall. That was everything about that was not good.
You see the Middletown players taking a knee as they take a look at him on the near sideline. And it looks like he's at least sitting up right now, which is definitely what you like to see. Hopefully just something stinging. Hopefully nothing too serious, but definitely good to see him sitting up right now.
Get him up. Good for him. There we go.
And it looks like able to walk off under his own power, which you always like to see. Classy move, both sidelines clapping it up for him. Never like to see that, especially at the end of the game. So nice to see him walk off, and hopefully it's something that's not too big of an issue, and he'll be able to be back out there next week. Princeton offense comes back onto the field, and it looks like backup quarterback for the Vikings, Solomon Erkins will be back into this game with a 30-plus point lead. No reason to take the risk. So Erkins is back leading the offense. Run to the left side by Turner. He'll get some space and get about 7 yards as we come to the last 5 or so minutes of this game between Princeton and Middletown. Once again, the second to last game, penultimate game of the regular season for both teams. Both teams will have another game after that with every at least another game after that with every team making the playoffs. So something here as Princeton just tries to run the last few minutes of this clock out and take their hard-earned victory. Chris, it's been from the beginning of the second quarter up through now, it's pretty much been all Princeton.
Yeah, it's pretty much easy sledding for Princeton so far. Again, once they survived that that first quarter where Princeton was, like you were saying, maybe sleepwalking a little bit. Middletown punched him in the mouth a little, and kind of woke him up, and it's been downhill sledding there, and Princeton is, they've established themselves as as the dominant team here in this game, and as they've rolled to 56 points so far.
Yeah, the dominant team here, and one of the dominant teams in the conference and the area. A lot of teams with some good wins obviously do have the one blemish on their record, but still a very good team. The handoff there to Turner again, and Turner has been carrying it pretty much the whole time for the Vikings in the second half, running the ball a lot, but still looking good, still picking up several yards of carry, and still looking shifty as always as you see him go back and forth and finally able to bounce it out for a couple yards.
Even after losing his footing a little bit there, he was still able to make a play, and he's shifty. He's, like I said, he's fun to watch. And they've got that thunder and lightning combination with Ari Turner and Ty Tanks, and it's a recipe for some success if you are Mike Daniels and in your offense as you move forward. He really hasn't had to rely on Tanks too much tonight because it's been Turner Turner and Lynn who have been getting the job done for Princeton, but unfortunately now, penalty on the play, going to march her back, but with the clock continuing to run here, as you see, it's been, let's see there, sort of might have happened. I didn't really see much, but.
Yeah, maybe something a little bit on the left side, but not a whole lot there. Maybe something on the far side that we can't see, but once again with this running clock, Princeton just about 2 minutes left to run out on the clock right now. Yeah, I got some applause. Number 66 coming in for Princeton. That's Franklin Mills, sophomore guard. Maybe giving a little bit of clapping for some of the offensive linemen getting subbed out as I believe. Yeah, there's a timeout for the Vikings. Actually, they're going to call it, just take the delay of game penalty here. Trying to run out the clock, not a huge deal. Only about 1:40 left, and with the running clock's still going to run whether or not there's a penalty or not. So we're running to just about 90 seconds left in this matchup. Oh, and a fumble here. Eakins will just cover it up and go down. Really all you want to see here. The second, obviously second string offense, you don't quite get as much work, but if you're Coach Mike Daniels, you still don't want to see that out of, any string of your offense. So tough play there for Eakins as now they're backed up third and what is that, about 25, 26 or so?
It looks that way. They have another third and 28 is now officially been updated on the scoreboard there. So they're just going to let this play clock run out to about about 35 seconds. Oh, no, they're just going to play it.
Yeah, they'll just run, get it to Turner, who's still looking to run through someone.
I was going to say, I don't think he was ever down. He might have had a gripe there. I don't know if he was ever down. Knowing the way he runs, he would have continued on going. He'd have run that one in the parking lot.
Well, I think for the end of the day, as the play clock has more time than the regular clock, I think we're going to run down to zeros here. And really, Ari Turner should have no gripes, along with Mekti Flynn and Coach Mike Daniels, as this Princeton offense looked elite as they ran through the Middletown Middies. Great game for Princeton as they take this Friday night football game 56-24 over the Middletown Middies. For Chris Asbrock and Dean Lowry down in the truck, I'm Greg Miller. Thank you so much for watching Friday Night Football on ICRC-TV.